get it, yeah, let's see what we can uncover.
One that defies your world, gives you truth and life. One that excels, special reminder, guide your way through this shadow world.
Oh boy! Persona 4 Golden. Yup. Hey everybody, Renegade68 here with some... What are the options? Some Let's Play Persona 4 Golden Blind. Voice dialing on, auto advance. I think this is all correct. I don't even know what all this stuff is at all, so... For now, I'll just keep that there. Now, before we get into the heart of things, the main game, a couple ground rules, because this is an RPG that I should probably get through. So, ground rule number 1, what is it? Cutting in RPGs. Some people think RPGs, wild battles are like the plague, and death to the wild battles in any possible instance. I'm not quite like that. In fact, I tend to leave them in a lot, as my opinion. But I think it largely depends on A, the length of the wild battle, and B, how interesting wild battles are. It also depends on the kind of wild battles are in this game. If it's the kind of thing where... If it's like, as using an example, this isn't a very popular game, but I like it a lot, Tales of, It's Legendia. I just checked. It's Tales of Legendia. If it's like Tales of Legendia, then wild battles will jump at you out of nowhere and you have no way to stop them from coming. If it's like that, then I'll probably end up leaving in more than if it's like the other kind, where, let's say it's like World Ends With You, where if you're getting in a wild battle, unless it's story related, it's because you want to get in a wild battle. If it's like that, then I'll probably you'll probably see less, not because I'll be cutting more, but because I just will be getting into less. So yeah, that's something I should get out of the way. If a lot of people say though on these videos, like, please like cut like every single battle ever, and that's your opinion, well, if I get a bunch of people saying that, well, hey, if you want me to cut like every single battle ever, you want me to be one of those LPers who cuts everything, fine, if that's what you want me to do. Although, unless I get a bunch of people saying that, I'll probably just stick to, you know, leave a lot of them in, unless they're really long battles, like if they're really long-winded. Obviously, if I'm ever grinding, I'll cut that out. That said, we should probably get into this, but first, I should also mention, I've played like the first hour or two of this game, like over and over and over. I did it back when I was testing out recording software with my Vita. If it seems I'm a bit bored at first, that's because I'm probably a bit bored at first. Now, before we get into the meat of things, I know this is a thing, so I am probably going to go into this. And I don't know if there's going to be more of these or whatever, but I will show you this one. So, yeah. Let's start with this.
Mr. Edagawa's TV classroom.
Everyone loves Judging Psychology. Hello there, everyone. It's time for Mr. Edagawa's TV classroom. This lecture is for those distinguished enough to tune in. I'm your lecturer, Mr. Edagawa of Gekkokan High. You might be surprised to know that my day job is as a school nurse. It's totally gnarly. I get all the chicks. Usually, the students ask me about their health. But sometimes I get questions like this. Mr. Edagawa, what are personas and shadows? Apparently I have them inside me. Well, gee, kids. It was quite a shock to learn there are students that diligent out there, and that stupid. After all, not many children would come to me asking about personas and shadows, from Junjian to Junglein to Georgia the Jungle Psychology. It was due to those such requests that I decided to start the show, Mr. Edagawa's TV Classroom. Yeah, this lecture will cover Junjian psychology, so you too
can learn about personas, shadows, and much more besides. Dude, I call it Everyone Loves George of the Jungle Psychology. Yup, totally. Let us study the science of the human mind that Dr. John Banbajam built. Yes, Dr. Jumanji. It was totally a cool dude. I loved him.
Actually, real talk. I find this kind of psychology stuff really cool. I've always been interested in psychology. It's not what I'm majoring in or whatever. Not my field of study, but it's always fascinated me. So whenever there's science fiction that goes into, the limits of psyche, like stuff like Psycho-Pass or even Persona, it always fascinates me, seeing like science fiction types of psyches. Anyways,
Today's lesson is the first installment. What are shadows and personas? Alright, let's get started. Palas, Anon, Animama, Azarath, Metrion, Zinthos? Is that where we're going with this? I mean, what? Personas, shadows, dudes! Yeah, I mentioned this already, but persona and shadow are terms used in Jumanji psychology. George of the Jumanji. These terms are used to describe the workings of the human mind. But what exactly are personas and shadows? Oh, another you lurking in your mind. Scary. According to Judge, they are the yous inside yourself. That's right, it's Inception. No. Let's start with the persona. It is the other you that comes out when you interact with others. Think about it. When you talk to someone, is that the real you?
this is something that's always fascinated me. What is the real you? Like, I'm talking to you guys right now through Let's Play. Is this the real me? I think so. But there's got to be a part of my psyche that's like, okay, people are going to hear this, so I'm going to act differently. Like, when you're around different people, you act differently depending on how you think they want to receive you. Now, there's some people that have bypassed that and just don't give any fucks and will just act themselves no matter what the situation. But those are extremely rare people. Most people have a different persona depending on who you're talking to, and for some people, they will never show their true colors in front of anyone. They'll only show them to themselves, and just to a certain extent, you might say that's true for everybody. Like, even if it's only slight changes you make around your close friends, there'll probably still be some changes. So, what is the real you? Like, you'll probably never be able to, meet the real you of anyone else, except for those rare few that don't give any fucks. Because usually, to some level, subconsciously, they give fucks. Everybody gives fucks. So, yeah, it's always interested me, but yeah. Like, the me that's talking to you right now, this is my Renegade 68 persona, but the me that doesn't have the title Renegade, the me that doesn't have a username, is probably different. The me that talks to my friends is probably different, the me that talks to my parents is probably different, and the me that talks to my strangers, well, the me that talks to strangers doesn't exist much, because usually I'm just like, go past them and brush past them, pretend they don't exist, because I'm that kind of person. I'm like Neku. I do try to expand my world, but when I meet strangers, not very good. Anyways, Neku from World Ends With You, for those who don't know. Anyways, when you talk to someone, is that the real you? Also, if that seemed like a long tangent, get used to those. That's a thing I do. Anyways.
Or was it the you that the person you were talking to was expecting?
Exactly.
Or the you that you want people to see? Either of those yous are a persona. Personas are like masks. They connect you to the outside world by acting as the medium through which you present yourself. Yaw. That sounds like a helpful other you, doesn't it? Personas are there when you need them. But shadows, though, they're the other you that you reject. A good way to think about them is the you that you don't want to be, and don't think of yourself as. Totally. Shadows are just that. Shadows. They're in the side of you that you keep locked away in your mind as evil. Totally. Sounds like a scary other you, eh? It appears that you need to handle shadows with care.
So here's an interesting question. For someone who who's like, a bad guy, commonly considered a bad guy, but they don't consider themselves evil, they consider themselves good, would their regular selves be their shadows? Or the selves that they think are evil, that are actually good to most people, would they be the shadows for them? That's something that I'd like to know.
Now, personas and shadows are both other yous that you usually aren't aware of. So then why aren't you aware of them? It's because they lurk deep inside your mind, in your unconscious. Oh, the unconscious is the sort of personas and shadows, and the foundation of George of the Jumanji psychology. It's important to understand, so let's take a closer look at this unconscious. Dude. The unconscious of George of the Jungle psychology. The term was originally derived from psychology.
Well, duh. It's a psychology term, so of course it's derived from psychology. This always confused me, but I think what they're trying to say, if I'm right, is they're saying Jungian psychology is a completely different kind of thing, and psychology, it's like a branch of psychology that, you know, when people are talking about Jungian psychology, they don't really talk about regular psychology, but meh.
It may be hard for you to imagine, since the word is now used in everyday conversation. Totally. There's a domain in all of our minds that we are typically unaware of. This is known as the unconscious.
And it's much greater than the conscious.
And the unconscious is the source of the mind's activity. So you, and yes, even you, all have an unconscious deep within your mind.
Even me, Sensei?
Even you, Jimmy. Separate from the conscious mind you're aware of. The unconscious is said to be much bigger than the conscious, too. Like the part of an iceberg that's underwater. Totally. You could say that the George of the Jumanji psychology began by educating, or elucidating, this vast unconscious.
Oh god, it's coming here too. The Muzz!
Are you all listening? Are you still conscious? Totally. The unconscious, hidden deep inside your mind, dude. It is the realm that you cannot explore. The power that to change yourself lies. This power are the same other yous inside your mind. Is that grammar good? I'm not sure if that's grammar good. It might be grammar bad. Hard to say. The personas and shadows that I was just talking about. Radical. The other yous live in the unconscious, living in wait for the chance to make it out to the conscious mind. Who are they really? How should you go about handling them? Dude, just like how you want to handle chicks, you gotta finesse them. These are the concepts that I'll be introducing to you. Make sure to tune in.
The collective unconscious. Man is connected, surpassing time and place. Time and space.
So far, we've covered the existence of the unconscious inside your mind, dude. As well as the other years known as personas and shadows which live there. Now, let me add one thing to that. An important secret about the unconscious. Oh, dude, totally secret. This gets to the heat and heart of the truth about your mind and the truth about the world. Oh man. The unconscious within your mind is actually not just yours. Oh shit. Human minds are all connected, transcending space and time. In other words, this is getting some 4D shit, man. Jeez. Man's unconscious is shared. Did I forget to mention, this show will involve viewer participation every so often?
You're totally dead.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks. Also, that was a nice voice change, Jimmy. Oh, thanks. Jimmy's pretty good at voice changes, I say. Anyways, when you see a selection on the screen, use the buttons in front of you to make a choice. Now that I've explained, Jimmy D, could you please answer?
Yes, I will.
Man's unconscious is shared.
That's amazing. That's stupid. I knew that. Oh boy. This is starting the branching paths for you. Let's see. Amazing, stupid, or I knew that. Let's be snobby. I totally knew that, dude. Oh, what's my Edgeworth voice again? I use it in everyday conversation, practically. I knew that. Duh.
Oh, we have an expert among us. What a snob. That's an Edgeworth for you. But these lectures can also be a good way to review, so I hope you'll keep watching the other installments. Shaw! Now then, is man's unconscious really shared? Have you ever noticed that no matter what the era or the caution, man tends to have certain sensitivities? Dude, based on thorough, painstaking research, Judge suggested that man's unconscious is indeed shared. Judge Dredd all the way. If Judge was alive today, he might say something like, the human mind isn't an isolated terminal, it's networked. Networked. All the networked. And that networked is known as the collective unconscious. The original German phrase is Kollektivs Überwasserstase, Stase, Ho, Ha. Sorry if I offended any Germans viewing. In case you were curious, all you Franziskas out there, you von Karmers. Now the other yous, the personas and the shadows. To tell you the truth, they're deeply tied to this collective unconscious. Did I say shadows? Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll explain this term more later, but they are archetypes. Oh, it is Yu-Gi-Oh! Images born from the collective unconscious. Actually, plenty of card games have archetypes. It's just I'm most used to Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though right now, I've been totally into the Heathstones, the Hearthstones. Oh man, I get high on those stones. It's starting to become quite a handful, isn't it? Collective Ankawa, Arkamawa, Archmagician. Speak English, you egghead. Dolt. Ugh, totally. I can hear the screams from your heart. Totally gonna get high later. By the time my lecture comes to a close, you'll no doubt be saying, that was so collectively unconscious. Did you get it? Did you get it? I think they got it. Did they get it? I'd like to say they got it. Let's move on assuming they got it. Let's review a little, shall we? Here's the buttons in front of you to answer. Are you ready? Alright, I'll ask thee. I ask thee? Wow, that's a funny word.
I like thee. I hope more people say thee. Thee should be used in everyday conversation. Thee's a cool word.
The hidden you within your mind. What is the part of the mind where it dwells called?
The unconscious.
Very good, you passed that with ease.
I should hope so. I saw it like a dozen times. Granted, that was well over half a year ago, but still, I saw it like a dozen times. Plus, I had it studied in psychology.
That's the most basic level of these lessons. Let's get going and deepen our understanding of the mind. Oh shit, class is over. Gotta go get laid and get high at the same time. Don't try that at home, kids. Now then, it looks like our time is up. Next time, we'll take a little deeper into the unconscious we talked about today. Shaw. Next time, how many pens will I have in my head at once? Right now I have 2, but the more we go into this, I'll have more and more. Totally. That's it for today.
Okay, so that was Edogawa's TV Classroom number 00. Then there's this concert thing. Not gonna bother with that at the moment. Then there's this, the memorable scenes, but obviously I'm not gonna watch that. First couple scenes are probably there because I've seen the first bit of this game, but yeah. The songs you know, the songs you love. And then there's Persona Hits. Yeah. You know what I could show actually from here? Wouldn't this have the, wouldn't this have, like, the other openings as well? I might show that in a bonus video. Because I believe it has the Persona 3 opening and the Persona 4 opening, the not golden version. For now, though, I think I'll just move on to the main game. You know what? If I don't do it now, I'm not going to remember to do it. So let's just do it now.
Daily Personamations.
Yeah, so let's show it all started here. Because, yeah, here you go.
We are living our lives. Although with so much information. Come on, let go of the remote. Don't you know you're ready on a junk for them? Try to flip the boat, they'll be cooking on the go, but I know use. Hey, I've been casing. Loading, loading, loading. Victory, reach maximum capacity. Want it, want it, want it. Gonna show city my identity. Get up on your feet, tear down the walls. Catch a breeze all the whole world. Stepping round down, we'll get you nowhere. You looked up in your mind. We all dropping our lace of relationships. Life goes on with and without you. I swim in the sea of the unconscious. I search for your heart, but see my true self.
Yeah, so new opening versus old opening. I think I prefer the old opening, but that might be my bias just because I've seen the new opening so many times and it's going to get a bit on my nerves. So maybe later I'll have a different opinion. For now though, let's do a new game. Yeah. You can connect to PlayStation Network, no. I think I've checked to see what functions this has. I don't think it's anything important. Might check again later, but... Okay, so, the difficulty choice. This is something that was actually really bugging me. I'm not doing very easy or easy. Those don't exist as far as I'm concerned. But okay, the difficulty does not affect the story, so choose one that will be comfortable with. So, yeah. This mode is easier than easy. Relax and enjoy the story. If your party is wiped in battle, you can instantly try. No. For those who are less than confident in their skills, the battles are easier than normal modes, so don't get too worked up. This is the best balance of difficulty and enjoyment. Please experience the tension. This is for the confident. Battles are more challenging and you experience severe gameplay. Do you hate yourself, or are you supremely self-confident? This difficulty requires a strength of heart that never gives in. I like things challenging. Straight up. I'm actually kind of sick of RPGs that are just too easy. Like, you go through the motions, you're not going out of your way to grind, you'll just fight whatever comes in your way, and then you're forever over-leveled. I'm sick of that, which is why part of me wants to go very hard, but I don't know if these difficulties are accurate or not. In other games, it might be very easy might be baby. Easy would be very easy, normal would be easy, hard would be normal, and very hard would be hard. In that case, I'd want to do hard. But I don't know if this game is actually accurate and the difficulties actually represent stuff. If it actually is accurate, I'd want to do hard. Now, I don't know if you can switch mid-game. I wish I could remember, because I did so many tests with this. You know what I think I'll try? I'm going to go into this game, I'm going to play hard, and as soon as I can check my options, which I believe is kind of early in, once I can check my options, I'll see if I can switch mid-game. If I can't, I'll probably just stick with hard. But if I can, I might end up going to very hard later. We'll see. For now, I'm going to choose hard, because I'm that kind of person. Again, if this is actually accurate, I don't want it to be very hard. I don't want it to be, you know, hair-clenchingly hard. I want it to be challenging, but not stupid challenging kind of thing. Like, yeah. I guess the example I always come back to is in Tales of Symphonia. I think their difficulties are accurate. Maniac is freaking crazy. Hard mode is, actually, you know, hard. So, I prefer doing hard mode in that game. But Maniac mode is actually, like, I don't really want to do that. Except, sometimes I'll do boss battles on Maniac mode in Symphonia. Because, you know, in games where you can switch the difficulty on the fly, I enjoy, you know, fighting mooks on normal, and then boss battles on hard, because those are the ones you actually want to be challenged by. If all the mooks are kicking your ass, it's kind of annoying. But you want the boss to kick your ass, so games that let you change difficulty mid-game, I actually like a lot. But anyways, I've talked too much. I'm going to do hard. You cannot change the difficulty during the game, but can choose another one when starting a New Game Plus. Well, isn't that great? I wonder what's even in New Game Plus. It's cool to know there is a New Game Plus, but don't know if I'll be covering that unless there is a true ending again. If there's some kind of true ending I need to get, then I will, I guess. I'll cover it briefly. I can't change it mid-game. Alright, I'm still gonna go hard. Hopefully the enemies aren't too annoyingly difficult, because I hope there's a good balance. Like, I prefer, in games where you can't change difficulty, the bosses should be miles ahead of the mooks. Like, you want to be able to plow through the mooks. You want mooks to be challenging sometimes, like when you're first learning how to fight them, like when they've got new battle patterns or whatever. But once you're used to fighting them, you should be able to just plow right through them. It should be bosses that kick your ass to the curb. So, yeah. I'm gonna do hard. Hopefully, A, the bosses are hard, but also B, the mooks aren't too hard. Set it hard difficulty. Yes. Relax and have fun with the game. I think it even says that if you go on very hard. That'd be funny. Characters, art, and storylines depicted in this game are purely a work of fiction. These similarities are poop. So yeah, cutscenes. If they're animated like this, I will shut up and let them play out. If they're not, then I will, I mean, if they have voices, but they're not, like, super animated, like I can scroll through them, then I will talk through them, you know. But with this, I'm about to shut up, so I'll shut up. I believe, is there even any voices in this cutscene?
Welcome to the Velvet Room.